Today we'll look at graphing on a coordinate plane, and you're going to learn to graph points and lines on the coordinate plane, which most of you probably know how to do, so this is somewhat of a review. We'll look at the coordinate plane, which is two dimensions. Again, an x-axis and a y-axis. We're going to look at what the quadrants are, and what an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate are, and the origin. So a coordinate plane is formed by two number lines. The x-axis and the y-axis. They intersect at right angles and divide the plane into four quadrants. The blank coordinate is the first number in an ordered pair. That's going to be the x-coordinate. The y-coordinate is the second number in an ordered pair. Plot an ordered pair, begin at the origin, which is the point 0, 0. It is the intersection of the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-coordinate tells how many units to move left or right, and then the y-coordinate tells how many units to move up or down. Helpful hint: the sign of a number indicates which direction to move. Positive is up or right, negative is down or left. So here we have an ordered pair. This is the x-coordinate, and here's the y-coordinate. And if we're going to plot that on a coordinate plane, this first quadrant over here, where the x's are positive and the y's are positive, is quadrant 1. And then we go around to the left, so we go counterclockwise, which is the opposite of clockwise. In quadrant 2, the x's are negative and the y's are positive. In quadrant 3, the x-coordinates are negative and the y-coordinates are negative. And in quadrant 4, the x-coordinates are positive and the y-coordinates are negative. So if we plot 2, 3, oh wait a minute, first of all, the origin is going to be right here at the point 0, 0. And then we're going to move right 2 units to plot the point 2, 3, right from the origin though. So we'll go right 2, and then we're going to go positive 3, so we go up 3. And we'll plot that point and label it 2, 3. All right, so examples: finding the coordinates, give the coordinates and quadrant of each point. So I'll let you try that on your own, and then we will, you can pause it and then come back and check your answers. So point R, its x-coordinate would come down to the x-axis, which would be positive 1. Its y-coordinate, if we go left to the y-axis, it's up 3. So 1 unit right, 3 units up, 1, 3, it's in quadrant 1. Point S is not in a quadrant because it lies on the y-axis. If it lies on an x or y-axis or on the origin, it is not considered to be in a quadrant. So point S, the x-coordinate, we go back to the x-axis and we're at 0. The y-coordinate, we go down 3 on the y-axis, so it's at negative 3. And it is no quadrant, it's on the lies on the y-axis. Point T has an x-coordinate of negative 2 and a y-coordinate of positive 2. It's in the second quadrant. And point U is not in a quadrant either. Its x-coordinate is negative 3 and its y-coordinate, it doesn't move, so it's 0. So now we're graphing the points on a coordinate plane. So if you want to graph those and then come back and check your work, you can pause this video. So point A is at 3 to the right, 4 up. So that would be right here, point A. Point B, we're going 4 to the right, and we're not moving up at all because we go up 0. So this is point, oops, I didn't move over 4, sorry. Point B. And then C, we're going to go negative 4 on the X, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go up 4 on the Y. So we are at point C. And then D is X is negative 1, so we go left negative 1, and down 3 3 because we're at negative 3 on the y. So there's point D. Now we're going to find the distance between a pair of points. And when we find distance, the thing that you have to remember there is distance is always positive. No matter which way you're moving, the distance between 2 points is always positive. And we find distance by using the absolute value symbol. So for instance, if I want to find the distance between K and L, here's K and L, and I can count the spaces. If I'm starting at negative 2 and going to 0, that's 2 spaces. Then 2 more is 4, 2 more is 6. So there's 6 spaces, but we're not always going to be able to count. So if you look at that, when you move from one point to the other and it's horizontal, that means we're moving along the x-axis. So we look at the x-coordinate. So I have negative 2 for my x-coordinate on K and 4 for my x-coordinate on L. And if I subtract those two and take the absolute value, I'll have the distance between those 2 points. So we're using the x-coordinates, so we're taking negative 2 for the first x and 4 for the second x-coordinate. We subtract negative 2 minus 4 is actually negative 6. But we're taking the absolute value, and absolute value means distance from 0, and distance is always positive. So x would be equal to 6. So they're 6 units apart. You could have also done that 4 minus negative 2. And if you did 4 minus negative 2, that'd be 4 plus 2, which would be absolute value positive 6, which is also 6. The order of the points does not matter when you find the distance between them. Just like I showed you, or just told you just now, we could have gone 4 minus negative 2. And the last one here, M and N, the distance between those 2 points, we're going vertically. So we could count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. But we could also take the y-coordinate, since we're moving vertically, and subtract 6 minus negative 6 and take the absolute value, or negative 6 minus 6 and take the absolute value. So if you do 6 minus negative 6, that's like 6 plus 6. And the absolute value of 6, or 12, 6 plus 6 is 12. Absolute value of 12 is 12. If we had done negative 6 minus 6, that's like negative 6 plus a negative 6, which is the absolute value of negative 12, which is also 12. Because the absolute value is always positive. And that's the end of our video. Pretty easy stuff. Tomorrow you'll do some practice on that. Have a great day.